All right, shalom, shalom. I'm the brother Kasha Kwala, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rechak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Today I'm going to come with you with a lesson. I'm going to entitle this Peace Through His Blood, which I'm going to bring up in the book of Colossians, the first chapter. But I'm going to start off, this is going to be a fairly quick lesson, but I'm going to start off with the Google search blood pact. All right. And I'm just going to go ahead and read you what a blood pact is. It says a blood pact is a type of magical, of course, Esau, but pick the bones out. Magical bonding agreement between two parties who share their blood. It could be made by the parties cutting their hands with their wands and interlancing them in making the desired oath. Now, Gad, all right, Gad used to cut their hand and shake each other's hand as a form of like a blood pact. Like, you can't break this because we just bonded it by blood. All right, that was actually one of Gad's downfalls as well, because he did that with Esau. Esau being so infested with so many type of diseases. Therefore, Gad got infected with that, and most of them died off. So a blood pact is pretty much a blood contract between one another. Okay, it's a blood contract between one another, and you can't break that contract because you're bound by each other's blood. All right, so it's the same scenario here when we get into the scriptures, when we read about Yahweh Shai and our relationship with him, and when he calls us into this. Okay, I'm gonna start with Colossians 1 and 4, and I'm gonna jump to Romans, the 6th chapter. It says, I'll pull up Galatians 6 and 17, because one of the sergeants in my camp, Ra'ib Amoth, he went into a beautiful lesson at class, and he brought out this precept, and I want to get a little bit more into it as well. So it's Colossians chapter 1 and 14. It says, in whom we have redemption through his blood. All right, we'll get the word redemption real quick. The word redemption is
Strong's G 629. Apalutrosis.
apoluthersis, and it means a releasing effected by payment of ransom. There's another scripture, I think in the book of Isaiah, one of the Jeremiah or Isaiah, speaks about the ransom of the Lord. And also it says redemption, deliverance, all right, liberation procured by the payment of a ransom. Okay, so continuing, it says, in whom we have redemption through his blood. All right, so a deliverance through whose blood? Yahweh Shai's, even the forgiveness of sin. So even through his blood again, we have the forgiveness of sins. All right, that binds us to Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's a legal contract that binds us to Yahweh Shai because of his blood. This is the blood pact. All right, so jumping down to verse 19, it says, for it pleased the Father, Colossians 1 and 19, for it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. Correct. Via how? Verse 20, in having made peace through the blood of his cross. There you go. So the fullness that is going to dwell is through Yahweh Shai's blood, man. All right. It says by him to reconcile. Reconcile, pretty much a synopsis of that word is to come back. All right. Join one to another again. All things unto himself. Now this script, this verse, or this whole chapter right here in Colossians is setting Yahweh Shai's preeminence. In verse 18 right there. This is setting Yahweh Shai's preeminence over everything. But I'm applying it as in we have a legal bonded blood contract with Yahweh Shai because he released his blood and sacrificed himself in order for us to dwell in fullness and in peace, like we read up in verse 14. Salakia, like we read in verse Salakia, in verse 20. All right, so we can have peace through his blood, though. All right, so what do we ought to do? Give our bodies as a living sacrifice as well. All right, it says, by him I say, whether they be the things in earth or in the things in heaven. That's right. So by his blood we get redemption. By his blood we get to escape. When you look up the word escape, it means to be delivered from. Okay, when you get it in Isaiah 10 and 20. All right, it means to be delivered. All right, so we are legally bound with Yahweh Shai. So I'm gonna go to that, and I'm gonna get this precept that the Sergeant Ra'ai brought out in class today. This is Galatians chapter 6 and 17. It says, from henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. That's right, the marks of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So the stigma, all right, which is like a prick or to stick. It says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body to ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers. Now, Paul always mentioned that he was a prisoner to Yahweh Shai. All right, it says bore the name or the stamp of their masters. So when he says right here in Galatians 6 and 17, that he says, I bear in my body the marks of Yahweh of the Lord Yahweh Shai, it's meaning I belong to him. I have Yahweh Shai's brand on me. Okay? I belong to him. All right? So let's go back to the word stigma. It says, or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. That's right. But this is in a spiritual sense. And how was that? And how did that happen actually physically? With Yahweh Shai getting those pretty much stakes put in his hand and getting pierced in the side. That was a literal stigma, but it was spiritual how everything happened. That's why we get peace through his blood. All right? We are bound in this blood contract with Yahweh Shai. That's why when you read Ecclesiasticus, which I'm just going to pull instead of speak idly on it, so y'all brothers can know what I'm talking about. It is one of my favorite. I always say that. Every brother always say that, but whatever. It's one of my favorite scriptures. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 28 and chapter 26. No. Is it? Yeah, 26 and 28. It says, there be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry, a man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. You can't do that because you are legally bound in a blood contract. You can't break a blood pact. You can't. All right? So when you try to return from righteousness to sin, when you try to turn from righteousness to sin, you are trying to break that blood contract that you have with Yahweh Shai. Therefore, there's a colon right there, meaning an explanation is about to come. It says, the Lord prepared such a one for the sword. So if you try to break this blood contract that you have with Yahweh Shai, the only other option is he's going to smoke you. It's simple as that. We're literally, I ain't going to say that because Esau twists words, but we're legally bound by blood with Yahweh Shai, especially if you came into this thing via the truth, man. If you got the truth, you're stuck. All right. And you should be happy that you are stuck. So let's go to Romans chapter 6. We'll start at 5. It says, for if we have been planted together. All right. Let's get the word planted real quick. All right. The word planted is sumfutos, and it means what? Born together with, of joint origin. All right. We are together with Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, for if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, all right, on the cross, he shed his blood. So if we're planted in that same aspect spiritually, we are in a blood pact right now. It says we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection, because he rise, he conquered death. All right, when you read 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, verse 6 is the point. It says, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him. All right, we were crucified with him on that cross. All right, let's get the word crucified. It's Esau. Say it.
Strong's G 4957. Sustarao.
Sustarao. And it means what? Crucified along with. When he was on that cross, shedding his blood, giving his body as a living sacrifice, well, guess who was on there too? The elect ultimately, but us hopeful elect were too. So we legally bound ourselves. Now let's go to the Strong's definition. It says to impel in company with. Now let's get this word impel. All right. Let's get this word impel. This goes to show you that we're deep into something right now. Okay? We are deep into something. All right. Impel. Pierce or transfix with a sharp instrument. All right. It says display. Side by side with another on the same shield, separated by a vertical line. Okay, so the point on the matter says pierced or transfixed with a sharp instrument. We were impelled with Yahushua, meaning we were pierced through as well, and our blood is shed. All right, therefore, what? We have a contract with him. All right, we have a contract with Yahushua. All right, let's get impel in the Edom online and see if anything else pops up. Get all the meat off this bone. It says to enclose with stakes fence. To push onto a stake. In. All right. Stake, prop, stay, wooden post, pole. It says pierce with the pointed stake. All right. Is that not what Yahushua got put into his hands? And then pierced with in the side to sacrifice for us? We are in a blood pact, man. We are spiritually bound by through Yahushua's blood, man. Therefore, what? We get what? Redemption through it. All right. It says Colossians 1:14, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, man. So I said I'm only gonna make this too long, but I'm just trying to get that indication and push that out there. Like we in this thing, man. If you're 1 foot out, 1 foot in, you're committing treason. No, you're in this thing, bound by blood, man. And you are to give your body as a living sacrifice. So, Lord willing, I was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 First Fruit. Again, I'm the brother Kasha Kwala from the GMS Atlanta Church here in Georgia. And until next time, like always, Shalom.